Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the installment of Scott Selections here for Saturday, January 30th. We're getting today's play of the day. Quick recap of what happened yesterday. We ended up splitting. We lost the solo video play on CSU Northridge -4.5 as it ended up taking on Cal Poly. Unfortunately, Northridge was up 6 with about 6 minutes to go, and then everything completely fell apart, and Northridge ended up losing outright. Pretty pathetic performance there. Happens when you end up backing a bad team in the Matadors and you expect them to rise to the occasion. But unfortunately, they ended up losing to a winless team in conference play. Not exactly a good look, but it happens. Line ended up closing at 5, so we ended up beating half a point of line movement, and it didn't really matter. But we ended up winning the joint video play as we ended up giving out North Dakota State -3, as it ended up beating Kansas City by 4. So one by the slimmest of margins, but still a victory nonetheless. So we ended up going 1-1. Lost a little bit there yesterday, but nothing too extreme. Basically broke even, and hopefully we'll have a winning day on Saturday. Now, for today's play of the day, I'm going to be doing 2 videos. I'm going to be doing one in college basketball and one on the NBA. And this one's going to be the college basketball show. And for this one, we're going to be taking one of my favorite teams here in the Patriot League, and it's going to be on Colgate -14.5, which is available at -110 on Bet Online. At time of recording of 1:26 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, first of all, this might sound like a little bit of deja vu, and the answer is it kind of is. Gave out Colgate last week on Saturday. However, that game ended up getting canceled because of COVID, so there was no action on that play. Hopefully, this game ends up getting played because Colgate faces off against Holy Cross, and I do think that this is a serious mismatch. But I think Colgate should roll here. Colgate is 5-1 so far this season, while Holy Cross is 2-6. Every game for both these teams have been in conference play, so the record is the same as the conference record. Now, these teams have already played twice. Colgate is 2-0 against Holy Cross this season. First win came by 40 points, and then they played an immediate rematch game, and the second win came by 9. However, there was a little bit of an interesting thing that happened in that game, which is the fact that Holy Cross ended up scoring 87 points in that game, which is well above its season average of 71.3. And if you look at the actual numbers here, you can see that Holy Cross, if you take that Colgate performance out where it scored 87, it has not scored more than 76 points in a single game so far this season. So Holy Cross might have just had a massive outlier there, and I think it makes a lot more sense that in the first meeting they only scored 55 against Colgate. Colgate's a very solid defense, and I do think that Colgate should be able to buckle down a bit more defensively in this matchup. But looking at the comparisons in terms of efficiency, these teams are not even close to each other on paper. Colgate's the class of the conference, and Holy Cross is easily a below-average team. But looking at the efficiency numbers, Colgate ranks 64th in offensive efficiency, whereas Holy Cross ranks 315th, according to KenPom. Meanwhile, you look at the defensive rankings, Colgate ranks 171st, Holy Cross ranks 337th. So they're not close once again. And you look at rebounding rate, Colgate ranks 44th, Holy Cross ranks 292nd. So I do think Colgate should be able to dominate on both sides of the ball and even create some extra chances from the offensive rebounding, as it should have a massive edge on the interior against Holy Cross. Plus, you might be concerned about Holy Cross playing at home so far this season, and my answer is you probably shouldn't be, because Holy Cross is 0-4 straight up at home and 1-3 TS at home so far this season. Look at the teams that they've also played, really not the greatest level of competition for some of these teams that ended up losing to. Lost to Army was 9-4, not a terrible loss there, but lost by 15 in the process, and then ended up losing its last 2 home games to Lehigh. And Lehigh is 3-5, really not a good team at all, lost by 4 and lost by 8. So I do think that after you had – sorry, I lost my train of thought. Colgate. After Colgate had its weekend games canceled last week against Bucknell, I think it'll be very motivated to get back to action here against one of the worst teams in the conference. Colgate already beat this team by 50 or by 40. Felt like 50. Scored 95 in the process. But the thing that really stands out to me is in both meetings so far this season, Colgate has scored 95 and 96 points respectively. I just think Holy Cross can have no answers defensively. I think that if Colgate ends up scoring 90+, which is very well capable of doing, since Colgate is averaging roughly 90 points per game, I just simply think Colgate is not going to be as lucky as it was in the second meeting, scoring 87 points. I think it'll probably finish somewhere in the middle between the 55 and the 87. I think Colgate should end up winning this game around 91-70 or so. I think this game's really going to turn into a rout, and I think Colgate should end up absolutely cruising to a nice, easy winner. You already have seen some line movement on this game as Colgate went from 14.5 to around 15 in most spots, still available at 14.5 though on Bet Online. This will probably end up closing at around 16.5, 17. I really don't see where the Holy Cross money is going to come from, because this team really isn't very good. But the play that I once again here for Saturday, January 30th in college basketball is going to be on Colgate -14.5 at -110 on Bet Online. That's been Installment Scout Selections. Good luck to all of you and your respective bets today. Bye, everyone.